Hello everyone and welcome aboard. It is the last weekend of summer, but we're not going to let it slip away without one final boat review video for you guys, and it's one I'm really excited for. It is a 2017 Azimut 54 Fly. This boat was made available to me today by Newport Yachts and actually myself, because it's my listing, and if you want to check it out, you can see it in the description down below. Although I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not just saying this because it's agent talk, but I'm not sure that this one will even last until this video comes out. It is a great deal and it is an amazing boat, and I'm excited to show you every detail on it. So let's jump right into it and start with my favorite characteristic of this boat, which is this bow. Well, more specifically, the entire hull. Starting with the bow, you can see that the boat is a sport yacht style. That is right. This thing has a top cruising speed of 32 knots, and it doesn't get there by having one of those axe style bows. It's actually got a point to it and a nice big planing hull. At 54 feet long, this thing can get up to 32 knots with a cruising speed of 26 knots thanks to twin D11 Volvo Penta. And hear me out on this one, direct drive engines. That's right, no pods. We have thrusters and direct drives. We put the power straight to the shaft and we get this thing up to 32 knots. As we make our way back towards the stern, we'll be able to check out all the windows in the side of the hull. That one is for the V-berth up forward. Then we have one back here for the twin bunk room. And finally, the three big ones for the full beam master stateroom. We have a vent back here for the engine room so that those big D11s can breathe. And as we hit the swim step here in the back, you'll notice it is wrapped in teak and it is a hydraulic platform. There are a couple ways to enter this boat, either through the stern right here, which is what I'm going to opt to do, or there are actually doors on each side for gangways that can come down and hit the dock. We have some nice fair leads back here so that you can put all of your lines, cables, everything through without chafing on your gel coat. The starboard side of the stern has nothing on it over there, but as we move over to the port side, we'll be able to see a shower, a water hookup, as well as our shore cable connections right here. These things have the Glendenning services, so you can put the cable master in and out. As we move forward, there's a little door here, as well as more doors down there. We'll get to those in a moment. But first, let's take a look around and see the entire rear cockpit. We have nice seating in a C shape around the cockpit back here, along with our wood table. On the port side, we have a little wet bar area where you can put your drinks or store any ice. Next to that, we have our swim platform controller, as well as a line locker. Next to those, this boat is fitted with two electronic winches, both port and starboard, so that you can help pull those lines in when under tension. And those are the key, and I will notice behind these chairs right here, we even have a little window, which if you lift up the seat cushion and open up this hatch here, you will find a cruise quarters underneath the seating area in the rear cockpit. Admittedly, it's not the coziest place that you'd ever want to live, but it does have a pretty sizable bed. It has its own head and even its own little shower down here, as well as air conditioning, which is pumping pretty good. If you don't have anyone to live down there, well, you can always use it for storage. And if we turn back to the port side, we'll go over a couple things we skipped by. There's a stairwell up to the Flybridge. There's a little area down here for some storage, as well as this line locker back here is actually larger than the one on the starboard side because it also houses some breakers for the shore cable system. And one last fun party trick of the rear cockpit is if I stand up and underneath where I'm sitting, there's a drop-down fridge. Now, if we make our way forward to the bow, you can see there's that door on the port side here, as well as stainless railing that goes all the way forward. Right along the way, there is your fuel fill underneath a nice teak hatch. Forward of that hatch, we have a cleat midship here, and as we come around the corner, we will see the bow. There's a nice sun pad up here on the bow, as well as your water fill right there. If we move forward, we'll see two more cleats, as well as all the anchor equipment and gear. We have buttons right here for in and out on this quick windlass. This Azimut currently is set up with a plow style anchor and actually has a really nice swivel right here to make sure that your anchor always falls flat. If we open this side, we'll be able to look inside the anchor locker where it is full of chain. As we move back down the starboard side, we'll be able to see the windshield here, as well as the Flybridge. It's got a spotlight, a radar arch, and two track vision domes. There's another water fill here on the starboard side as well as that cleat midship, and another fuel fill underneath a teak hatch right here. As we come back around, we'll head up to the Flybridge. As we head up these stairs, the first thing you see is this nice little wet bar located in between the helm and the stairwell. If we lift it up, we will find a grill and a sink underneath it. And if we open up these cabinets down here, we'll be able to find another refrigerator The controls for the grill are located down here on the side. Located on the port side, cut around this sun pad here, we have our helm. Our helm is made up of Volvo Penta and Raymarine equipment. If we take a seat here, we can see the Seakeeper controller down here by our leg, our throttles off to our left to be used with our left hand, the bow thrusters, our trim tabs, searchlight, Volvo Penta controls. It has analog gauges along with a Volvo Penta computer that you can read. And then on the starboard side, we have that big Raymarine touchscreen, but if you don't like the touchscreen, you can use this controller right here. Beneath that, we have autopilot controls as well as a chain counter. If we look around the Flybridge, we'll see a sun pad forward as well as a sun pad stern with seating around this table here in the center. There are speakers on each side as well as a controller for the fusion unit. The forward side of the sun pad does have a big wind brow to block any sort of weather. And up here in front of the helm, there's a place for more storage. If we take a look up top, we'll see a manually operating convertible top that can slide all the way back. I like that better than the automatic ones because the automatic ones always break and are hard to service. If we take a look on this arch right here, we will see those track vision domes we talked about, a horn, those lights, as well as a Raymarine radar. And you'll notice the sea view thing right here. The harbor we are in actually has a low bridge to exit. So it's going to be hard for me to show this, but if we come back here and push this button, then maybe I can reach over here and show you that the whole arch comes down. Which I think is pretty great, because not only does it come down for the bridge, but you can hang flags on it, you can service that light, you can reach up there and you can turn off the radar so the next captain has no idea why the boat's not working. And then with the push of a button, it goes right back up. So now with the Flybridge covered, let's go down and check out the interior of this Azimut. As we enter, we'll see one big sliding opaque mirror door. It slides about halfway over and creates this nice big entryway. Off to our right upon entry, we have battery switches as well as our fire suppression system and fusion head unit for the rear cockpit. As we take our first step inside, we're greeted by this nice air conditioning vent that keeps all the hot air out. Over on our port side, we have this wonderful seating area where all the relaxing will be done. And over to our starboard side, we have our television console, which, if you open these compartments down here, you'll see all of the original Azimut dishware and glasses. Yeah, still wrapped up. Pretty neat. You have some controls over here for your air conditioning and your lights. And if you want this TV up, you actually do it back over here as if you were lounging on your couch. You push this button and just like that, your TV arises from the cabinet. Above the TV, this one has some Bose surround sound speakers that are also back on the port side as well. As we move forward into the upper salon, the ceiling rises with us and we get this nice little seating arrangement over here on the starboard side. The table has a centerpiece that can be removed as it is now. And on the port side, we have our galley. We have a refrigerator hidden behind this door here, both a freezer and a fridge. And then above that is actually our compartment that houses all of our AC controls. For a stove, it has a Melee induction, and then below that, it has a Melee oven and microwave combo. Forward of that is the sink, as well as some cup holders and storage up here underneath the windshield. I didn't remove the windshield covers for you guys today, frankly, because it's really hot, and that probably makes me sound kind of soft because we're in Southern California, it's like 85 degrees, but I didn't really want to feel like I was inside of a fishbowl. So on the starboard side, we have the helm. Now, something I want to bring up really briefly is I don't think there are a lot of boats that have a port helm and a starboard helm. Usually they're either both starboard or one will be, centered and the other one will be off to the side. But I think it's kind of rare to have one that's starboard and then one on port up on the fly. And the reason being is because the controls have to run down different sides of the boat versus running them up the same side. So I actually kind of like it. I don't really know how often you would need to switch the side that you're on just because you want to be closer to the dock or have a different view. Not sure that you'd run across and do that, but it is kind of a unique feature, I think. And one other reason why you probably wouldn't want to do that is because this one actually has a Dockmaster controller right here. That's right, it's a yacht controller. We can disconnect it from this charging section right here, and now we can control the entire boat from anywhere we are on board. Other features this thing has, quite similar to above, we have the analog dials as well as the Volvo Penta computer right there. We have our chain counter there. We have our on and off for the engines centered there. I think that this thing is kind of a sick setup. It feels like you're driving the Starship Enterprise or something. You got both screens. You have different elevations in screens, and you have different trims and finishes as well as kind of fun angles and you know, centering and the compass up there. It really does feel like kind of a unique experience for driving. Starting on the starboard side, we have an autopilot Raymarine control right here, the Volvo throttles, and then this nice little power system display right here. It shows you all your system alarms, and it's a pretty nice unit actually. It's got your bilge pumps, it has tests for different alarms, and then it shows you your voltages and your discharges over here. To the left of that, we have our thruster, our trim tabs, as well as our controls for our windshield wipers. Above that, we have our Raymarine touchscreen, and on this side, another Raymarine touchscreen with the actual buttons here if you want to use those instead, located right next to the Seakeeper controller. Next to that, we have our searchlight, another Raymarine screen, and then all of our buttons. And a couple fun buttons, which I will show you now, actually control the seating arrangement behind us. If we push this one, it will bring this backrest forward here so that you can sit on the other side of this bench. And if you push this one here, it will actually lower the entire bench so that it's the same height as the rest of the couch. As we keep heading forward in the boat, we have a pretty wide stairwell that runs straight down, which is nice because I think it's cool to be able to see the front of the boat from the back of the boat on the interior. You don't feel like you're in quite a bit of a maze. Off to our starboard, we have that room with the 2 bunks. It's got a little mirror back there above, as well as a little infotainment TV right there. Forward, we have the VIP cabin. This is that V-berth with those windows that we noticed earlier. It has some closets on each side, as well as a television off to the starboard side, and its own access into the day head, which is on the port side here. The port side day head is pretty nice. It's got this nice little sink. It's got a couple spots for some soaps. It's got a small little porthole, as well as a mirror you can see me in right here. And now, for the piece de resistance, I am going to take a shower. So we have this shower system, which I'm standing in currently. In order to use it, I spin this, and I keep spinning it until I am completely enclosed in this little cone of silence now. And then, you know, you just turn the shower on like normal, and it's got a little gray water indicator right there. Heading out of the cone of silence, we will go back into the hallway through the dayhead entrance door. And we have a nice handrail here for support as we go down into the master. The master is a full beam master, and before we get there, we'll check out its own restroom. This one has a more normal shower right here with a glass door that you can enter and exit in. It's got some nice recessed lighting up above, as well as a little chair there in case you want to take a break. Over on this side, we have our head. All these heads are these Tecma heads, buttons to fill up before and then flush after, as well as a similar sink to the other restroom. Heading back in to the main master, we have a full beam, identical windows on each side. This side, we have a beautiful seating area, which is possible due to the offset bed we have here. Instead of running straight forward and back, it is set over to the side a little bit, allowing for a completely different use of the space. All around the room is some nice recessed lighting. You can see these are vents for the air conditioner, and it's also kind of curved, so it doesn't feel like you're in quite a square box. Over on this side, more recessed lighting. We have our infotainment system here with a Bose stereo unit, and then we have some closet space aft. Actually very sizable closet space with its own little personal private safe back there. This really pretty table is finished with a handle, stainless handle around the side of it, as well as some nice leather on top. However, if you wanted the storage space for a laptop or any sort of desk, you have it on that side. And on this side, for the ladies, a nice vanity. On our way out, we have one last thing to see on the interior here, which is a washer and dryer combo unit. And with that, we will head on up and we will check out the engine room before doing our star review. Back here in the rear cockpit, we have our engine hatch. We flip this up and we get access to the engine room down here. Let me go ahead and turn off that generator. All right, so upon entering, you will come down here and you'll have a battery box for the genset. The genset is a Cummins Onan located right here, actually below the hatch. Next to the hatch, there's a very conveniently placed set of switches and breakers, which are also the same for the outlets right there, as well as some genset and air conditioning breakers over there. That's awesome because you don't have to climb all the way down here to where I am to access these things that may pop more frequently than, you know, other items. Next to our genset battery is our entire air conditioning system with boiler, all extremely accessible and easy to understand. There are arrows on everything and it explains what everything does very nicely. We have our fuel for the Raycors on both sides. And if I turn completely around, then you'll be able to see those D11 Volvo Penta diesel engines that are V-drived down and shafted right out. No pods, no servicing pods, really just all around a great setup. To the port side as well as the starboard side, there are two separate fuel tanks with its own sight gauge on it, as well as the electronic gauges up at the helm. Forward, we have our fire suppression system. And if we crawl up there, we'll actually see another feature that I really like on these Azimuts, which you may have noticed back there when I entered, but they have these lights that are on these cords. So no matter where you are inside the engine room, if you need light, you just take it off and you take it with you. This is insane. If I had this in every single engine room, my videos would look 100 times better. Anyways, these ones are the 725 horsepower D11s, so they are the big boys, and you can see they are fit pretty snugly in here. I usually do my Christian test where I go behind them. However, there's a fuel tank behind this one, and I think there's some access up there. Maybe I'll stick the camera around it. But anyways, great access around 80% of it. Okay access around the port. The exhaust makes it kind of tough for you to access the backside of the starboard, but overall very clean engine room. And I like how it's engineered, it's very well done. Let's head up top now and we can do the stars for this vessel. Before we jump into the stars, let's do a brief summary of the vessel. This is a 2017 Azimut 54 Flybridge. For those unfamiliar, Azimut is a company out of Italy that is known for their sport yachts. This one definitely meets its sport yacht criteria. It has a top speed of 32 knots with a cruising speed of 27 knots. It gets those speeds because of twin Volvo Penta D11 725 horsepower each engines that are not connected to pods but are actually V-drives. This means that they have real propellers attached to the shafts, along with a traditional bow thruster for maneuverability. It's got one main salon and 3 staterooms, a bunk, a VIP, and a full beam master. The master has its own restroom, and the 2 other cabins share its dayhead with the rest of the vessel. Up top, there's the Flybridge with a convertible roof, which spans most of the length of the vessel. In the stern, there is a nice rear cockpit area with the hydraulic platform, and up in the bow, there's a sun pad. Some other quick numbers for you. It is 54 feet long, that's why it's called a 54 fly. It has a 15-foot beam with a fuel capacity of 618 gallons, a water capacity of 155 gallons, and a waste tank of 92 gallons. It's a beautiful boat. I'm about to tell you how much I like it with the star review ranking system, and that way you guys can get on to watching your next JakeSea YouTube video. Remember, stars are given out with 5 being average. This isn't high school. A C is not passing, 7 is not average, 5 is average. Starting with performance, I'm gonna give it an 8. Hopefully the reason it gets an 8 is pretty obvious. This thing hauls. 32 knots top speed, 27 cruising. It is extremely quiet when underway. And to top it all off, it has one of my favorite packages for power. It's got the Volvo D11 with 725 horsepower each, attached to a V-drive, which means that there's no more pesky propulsion pod systems that you have to maintain and take care of. For comfort, I'm gonna give this boat an 8, primarily because I've kind of just fallen in love with the layout of it. I think it's very spacious and open and is extremely comfortable, but also because everyone you've ever met in your life can lay out and tan on this thing at the same time. There's room in the rear cockpit for it, there's room here in the salon for it, there's 2 sun pads on the Flybridge around another table, and a sun pad on the bow. For quality, I'm gonna give this thing a 6. I think 6 is fine. I mean, 5 would be average for quality, and this thing's slightly above average, I would say. It uses all the same components that most other vessels use. For example, Volvo, Dometic, Seakeeper. It's, you know, it's got all the same stuff. As far as construction goes, pretty well built, I would say. I see some wear in some places, but that's not really uncommon for a boat that's 8 years old now. For practicality, I give this boat a 7. I think that it's very practical for pretty much anything you want to do. If you want to stay on it with you and your significant other for the weekend, there's plenty of space, room to lounge out. If you want to have a party on it, there's plenty of room for that. Really, overall, there's nothing that this boat can't offer you. I think a problem with a lot of boats is that they don't actually maximize outdoor space, which is kind of silly to think of when you're on a boat. But this thing's got plenty of room on the Flybridge, it's got plenty of room on the bow. It's got a nice open area here in the galley and the dining table, so I give practicality a 7. For value, I give this boat a 7. I think this boat is valued very well. I think in general, a lot of Azimuts are valued very well. I don't say that because I'm selling it. I'm actually pretty certain that it might be sold by the time this video comes out. I'm saying that because I think in the past, Azimut have had some reputation issues in terms of their quality control, primarily when it comes to their cosmetics aging on the outside of the vessel, like paint, for example. I think that stigma has kind of stuck with Azimuts. However, I don't really see it being a lot worse than really any other vessel that's coming out right now. I think they have a bit of a bad rep, and I think that makes them a very good value when you find the right one to buy. That brings the total for this vessel to 36 stars. If you'd like to see the other vessels I review, you can find them on the JakeSea.com/rankings. 36 stars puts this one with a 42 prestige. Personally, I would much rather have this vessel, although I will admit it is a little hard to compare when this thing's 54 and the prestige is 42 feet. 54 feet is really a perfect size boat, and it's actually pretty incredible to think that this thing is only 3 feet longer than the Sea Ray 510 I have a couple videos of. You can go ahead and check those out and compare them for yourself. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Check out Newport Yachts if you like this boat or any of the other boats. We have many of them. And if you're looking to sell your boat yourself, that's fine too. Check out setsailmarine.com. They have free listings right now. You can list your boat on there with the help of AI. Thanks for watching. Smooth sailing.